Post-workout protein coffee, delicious. What you just saw me do is what I do every morning and have been doing so since October of 2018. I wake up at 4 a.m. I have my morning routine set to get me in a peak state. Then at 5 o'clock, I either go to the gym or go to work, depending on the day of the week. Now, I naturally am not someone who can wake up so early and function perfectly. I had to work at this. I had to train myself to do it. And I know that there are some of you out there who need to shift your sleep-wake cycles, or that need to shift your what time you wake up. And that's why I'm making this video, is for you, so that you can do it effectively, do it properly, so that you don't sacrifice cognitive performance, physical performance, so you don't have to take naps later in the day, so that you just feel as good as you deserve to feel. Now, I did experiment with many different things, a lot of trial and error on what would work best for, and a lot of research on what would work best for shifting your sleep-wake cycle, or what you can also call your circadian rhythm. And I've found things that have worked and have allowed me to do it very successfully. And I put that system on a piece of paper here, so that I have notes to share with you in this video, so that, you know, to keep me on track. But I'm also going to put this available for download if you want, for free. You don't have to give me your email or anything. It's in the description if you want to follow along or look at the notes yourself, print them out, whatever you want. So one thing I want to make clear is that before you decide to, you know, change any sleep-wake cycles, change what time you wake up or anything like that, it's important to note that you should have a proper reason why you would want to do it in the first place. If you don't have any real significant reason to change your sleep-wake cycle or to wake up so early, then don't. I personally think, from my research, from my findings, is that having a natural circadian rhythm, which is waking up with the sun, going to bed with the sun, is healthiest long term. I completely believe that. But there are some situations and periods in our life when we do need to wake up early, whether maybe, you know, you're a new parent. I have a 7-year-old daughter. I remember when she was born, we didn't get any sleep. Maybe you have a new work schedule. That's why I changed my sleep schedule. That's why I wake up at 4 a.m. Maybe, you know, you want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you want to start a new business and you just want the extra hours in the day to optimize, or maybe you want to optimize the hours that you have in the day so that you can put in more work into that, or to do that after work or before work, whatever it is. Maybe you just want to work out. I don't know. Whatever the reason is, make sure there's a reason. If you just want to wake up early because it's cool to wake up early and it makes you a badass, honestly, you have to have a real reason why. You do, because you have to stick with these routines and with these programs and make them consistent and do them daily so that you feel your best. And I'm gonna get to all that in a minute. So just make sure there's a real reason why. If you don't have a real reason, I personally think it's just healthier and best to wake up with the sun and go to bed with the sun. That, I would love to be doing that right now if it wasn't for my work schedule. I'm working on, you know, changing that in the near future here. But if you do need to wake up early, here's a system. One more thing I want to make clear before I dive into the details is, you know, I'm just going to sum it up by sharing a quote from Dave Ramsey that I read in the Total Money Makeover book. And it goes as follows. One thing I am sure of, I had to quit telling myself that I had innate discipline and fabulous natural self-control. That's a lie. I have to put systems and programs in place that make me do smart things. You have to put a system in place in order for you to shift your sleep-wake cycle or your circadian rhythm. You have to put a system in place so that you don't have to think about it, so that it's mindless, and so that you do it every single day. If you don't do these things every day, it's not gonna work as effectively as it could, and you may not perform and feel as best as you could perform and feel. You need to set up this routine in a way that works very well for you in your life, so that you do it daily without having to think about it. I wanna make that very clear. It has to be a system, so that you don't think about it, you just do it. And I'm gonna share with you some tips, practical tips on how to do that in this video. So let's get right into it. What is a circadian rhythm? Our circadian rhythms are our natural internal 24-hour clock that regulate the timing of many different physiological processes, as well as physical, mental, and behavioral processes as well, and changes. Processes such as brainwave activity, hormone production, cell regeneration, your sleep-wake cycles when you wake up, when you go to bed naturally, hormone release, eating habits, digestion, body temperature, and other important bodily functions, they all follow and are influenced by this 24-hour clock called your circadian rhythm. when you naturally wake up, when your body produces certain hormones, when it produces cortisol, when it stops producing cortisol, when it turns on melatonin production, all these different things. So your circadian rhythm is what you want to shift. Now, you don't have to be waking up at 4 a.m. like I do. Maybe you naturally wake up at 7, but want to start naturally waking up at 5. Then this video is for you. Maybe you wake up at 5 and want to start waking up at 6. This video is for you, whatever that time shift change is. And just to note too, is like I mentioned, I naturally am not someone who can wake up super early and feel good. I remember in the past I had an old sales job where we would travel many times throughout the year. And whether we were in the same time zone or different time zones, if I woke up really early or got less than 5.5 hours of sleep, I would feel crappy. I would feel like death. Not just sleepy, but I would feel nauseous and sick. And I always had to make sure that I got a lot of sleep and that I didn't wake up early. I used to hate these traveling events because I knew that would always happen. I would often have to walk out of meetings and walk out of conventions to go back to the hotel just to sleep. Now I can wake up early feeling amazing because I put this system in place. So to shift your circadian rhythm, there are 3 powerful cues for your body. So there are 3 powerful cues that you can use to tell your body when it's wake up time and when it's go to bed time. So you can control this, you can manipulate it. Those 3 powerful circadian cues that are also very practical are as follows: food, light, and movement. Okay, I'm sorry, that was in the wrong order. Most important is light, then food, then movement. You can use these 3 things and take advantage of them, implement them at the right time to adjust your circadian rhythm. Now, let's get right into it. If light is the most powerful cue for our circadian rhythm, what's one of the most important things we can do? We can block blue light at night. And how do you do that? By investing in a pair of blue blocking glasses. These are from a company called EMR. I'll leave a link in the description. It's not an affiliate link. I have no affiliation with this company. The reason I went with them is because they're the cheapest ones on the market that look decent. They don't look weird, or too weird at least. You're just gonna be wearing these at home. And on their website, they have third-party lab analysis, lab tests showing that they block the harmful artificial spectrums of light. So when I put these on, my brain registers no light. These make you sleepy. I put these on an hour before bed, sometimes up to an hour and a half, or I put these on an hour to an hour and a half before the time I wanna start going to bed. Because you do have to go to bed a little bit earlier if you're gonna be waking up earlier. So for me to wake up at 4, I'm in bed by 8, non-negotiable. I'm always in bed by 8 o'clock, sometimes earlier, sometimes a little later, but on average 8 o'clock. So I put these on around 6:30, 7 p.m. My brain is not registering any light signals. The light from screens, from LEDs, from anything nothing is telling my brain that it's daytime. My brain thinks it's pitch black. These get you sleepy. These significantly improve your sleep. Most blue blocking glasses start at around 89 bucks. These are 79. And these are some of the most effective ones on the market. They hold up well. They're built well as well. I'm a big fan of those. Blue blocking glasses, invest in those. And there's only one other thing you're gonna have to invest in that I'll get to in a minute. But aside from that, match your internal light to the external light. So as the sun starts to go down, or as it starts to get close to your new bedtime, start to dim the lights in your house. Start to turn off the lights in your house. Start to turn off the screens. And for sure, put on some damn blue blocking glasses. Blue light from LEDs and bright white light, even green light to some extent, inhibits melatonin production. Melatonin, and don't take melatonin supplements because our bodies can produce it endogenously. These bright blue lights, if you're bathing in it at night with, if you have LEDs on your ceiling, if you're looking at your phone screen, things like that, they inhibit that spectrum of light inhibits melatonin production, and it disrupts your circadian rhythm. Because the color temperature of the screen on your phone and on the computer screens and things like that is the same color temperature as 12 p.m. sunlight. So if you're looking at your phone at 8 p.m. with no blue blocking glasses, it's okay if you have the glasses on. But if you're looking at your phone at 8 p.m., you're essentially telling your brain via the melanopsin, via the light receptors in your retina, in your eye, that it's noon. Your body's like, wait, we're getting light signals that it's daytime. We need to produce energy. We need cortisol, turn off melatonin. It's still daytime, still be active. So you can see how that can cause some disruption there. Blue blocking glasses, that's the first one, very important. Number 2, Use a full spectrum light box as your light source in the morning. So if you're waking up early before the sun, obviously we can't go outside and get sunlight on our eyes or on our skin, which I'm a big fan of. I make sure to get sunlight every single day, not just for vitamin D production, for many other things. But when we're waking up early, obviously we can't do that. So I have a video called Sunlight in a Box. I'll put a card right here where I cover and review this lamp that has a what's called a full spectrum light bulb. And this light bulb is not just bright white or bright blue, although it kind of looks like it. It's actually full spectrum. It contains all the colors that the sun would naturally have. It's not as beneficial as getting sunlight. It doesn't have UV, but it promotes wakefulness, alertness, concentration. It tells your brain via these light signals that, hey, it's daytime. So you saw the lamp on my desk. That's the lamp I use in the morning. I sit in front of it. I try to sit in front of it for at least 30 minutes. Ends up being about 45 minutes by the time I have to leave the house. That is a powerful signal. You feel it. It's almost like having a cup of coffee. You sit that near your face, use a full spectrum light box. That is the only other thing you need to invest in. Blue blockers, good ones. Swannies are not good ones. I've seen them tested. They don't actually block all the blue light that you want to block. Get a good pair of blue blockers, 80 bucks plus 40 bucks for the light. I'll leave a link to it. You can find it on Amazon. I found that one in Barnes & Noble. That's another 40 bucks. So 120 bucks, you've got the two tools that are going to make the most significant impact on adjusting your circadian rhythm. Block the light at night, use the full spectrum light in the morning. So those were the light cues that we can use to our advantage to adjust our circadian rhythm. Now let's talk about the food cue. If you can eat something, here's tip number 3. If you can eat something, consume some type of calories within 30 minutes of waking up, that would be ideal. When you eat something and you start the digestive processes in your body, you consume energy, you chew, you start producing enzymes. That tells your body that you're awake and that it's time, that it's morning time, that we're awake. It's time to go about the day. So if you can eat something within 30 minutes, that's gonna really, really help your circadian rhythm and your sleep as well. How does it impact your sleep? Because it's completely adjusting your circadian rhythm. If you wake up at 4, you eat something by 4:15, that is gonna help set the right rhythm for the day so that by the time it's nighttime or getting close to your new bedtime, you're able to sleep most effectively. So for those of you who practice intermittent fasting, which I sometimes do now, I'm a fan of it in general, getting the right sleep and adjusting your circadian rhythm is probably a higher priority than intermittent fasting right now. So I would suggest eat something within 30 minutes for the first, 3-4 weeks at least until you get adjusted to the new schedule. And then if you want to go back to intermittent fasting, go ahead and experiment with that. But eating something in the morning when you wake up is a very powerful circadian cue, lets your body know that it's time to go. So eat something within 30 minutes. I personally, and make this comfortable for you, right? Make it practical for you. What do you like? I don't like chewing things, necessarily cooking food in the morning, so I add protein powder to my tea. There's 2 things that I drink as soon as I wake up, some mineral-rich raw water and some protein tea. Airplane going by, hang on. So the tea that you saw me have this morning, there was protein powder in that cup. I had protein powder in there. That is my source of food in the morning, and that really has honestly helped me adjust to my new wanted sleep schedule very effectively. Number 4, practice some type of movement. Movement is another powerful circadian cue. It's the 3rd one I mentioned. Do some exercise. If you can go and get a workout in the morning, if you like that and you can do that, that'd be great. But even if you just do, on days that I go to work, that I don't go to the gym that early, I'll do some push-ups, some jumping jacks. I'll do some pull-ups on the doorway. I will do some stretches, some yoga poses, something. If you can go for a quick walk around the block in that nice, brisk, early darkness, that would be great. Do some type of movement that you can do daily, right? That you can actually stick to and be consistent with. That's gonna be another powerful circadian cue for your body. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, time restricted eating. I know I just said don't do intermittent fasting so that you can eat something in the morning, but time restricted eating is a little different. What I mean by this is finish your last meal roughly 2 to 3 hours before you hit the hay, before you go to bed. And there's a couple reasons for this. And you know, if you have an Oura ring, it's really powerful to be able to track your sleep and to quantify these things, to look at your data so that you know what's affecting you or not. If I have a meal too close to bed, especially like a big dinner, I don't sleep that good. As shown on my Oura ring, my deep sleep goes down significantly, and typically I get really good. I get hours of deep sleep and REM sleep as well. So there's a couple reasons for this. Just intuitively, I've always felt that eating too close to bed didn't work best for me, but there's some actual research that came out recently that I recently heard about that kind of confirms this. So when you have a regulated circadian rhythm, meaning you have a set schedule that your body is used to, another fucking airplane, god damn it, come on. Your body will naturally produce and excrete melatonin 2 to 3 hours on average. Everyone's different, but on average 2 to 3 hours before your scheduled sleep time. So let me repeat that. Your body will naturally start producing melatonin 2 to 3 hours before your scheduled sleep time. That's another reason why it's important to go to bed around the same time every day. So melatonin actually binds to receptors on the pancreas. Now, the reason this happens is your body's essentially telling you, melatonin is essentially signaling to the pancreas, hey, we're going to bed soon. You did your job for the day. Don't produce any insulin. We're going to be falling asleep. You did your job. You're good. Chill out. We'll see you in the morning. Now, when your body does that naturally, but then you have a big meal, especially a big insulinogenic meal, too close to bed, now your pancreas doesn't secrete the appropriate amount of insulin that you need because melatonin just told it not to produce insulin. So you spike your insulin, you have a big insulinogenic meal, your blood glucose is elevated. Now your pancreas isn't excreting the appropriate amount of insulin because melatonin told it not to. So now you have elevated blood glucose levels for an extended period of time, which can, anecdotally, I've seen with myself and with others, not give you the best sleep possible. And also, just think about that. You're confusing your body. You're not aligned with its natural signals that it's giving itself. So if you can finish your last meal 2 to 3 hours before bed, that would be great. So I go to bed at 8. I stop eating by 5 p.m. I make sure to do that every day. Dinner is early for me, 4 p.m. So last note on adjusting your circadian rhythm. This is very important. And you might not like this one. Wake up at the same time every day. Yes, even on your days off. In the beginning, this is gonna suck, but it's really gonna help you stay effective and stay consistent and stay feeling amazing long term. Even on your days off, wake up at that same time. Waking up at the same time every morning is more important and more significant than going to bed at the same time every night. Did you catch that? If you are waking up at, let's say, 4 a.m. 3 days a week, and then the other 4 days a week, you're waking up at 7 p.m. Your body's like, what is our schedule? I don't know when to produce the right hormones. I don't know when to start the digestive processes. I don't know what body temp I should be regulating you at. What time do we go to bed? You're confusing your body. Whatever time you decide to start waking up, you need to start waking up. Do that even on the days off of your work. Do that even when you have the opportunity to sleep in. Wake up at the same time every day, because ultimately in the long run, that's going to really help your circadian rhythm, which in the long run is going to give you better sleep. You might be thinking, oh, I need to catch up on sleep. Second week of this new job. I want to sleep. Well, 2-3 months from now, if you keep doing that, you're going to be in that same exact place. Sacrifice those mornings a little bit, wake up early, wake up at the same time every day, and then you will eventually start to find that you wake up at that time naturally. Now, I wake up before my alarm. I think it's awesome to wake up before your alarm. At 3:50, 3:55, my body's starting to wake me up, and I shut my alarm off before it even goes off on most days, which is very powerful because I wake up at the same time and do these same things every single day. Now, there's a couple of mindset things and system things that I want to cover as well. We just discussed how to adjust your circadian rhythm using circadian cues. Now, something I want to make clear and how to make this easy for you in your life. Next section I want to talk about is your morning starts the night before. Your morning doesn't start at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Your morning starts at the night before. It starts at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And the reason this is because you have to prep everything for the next day. Take an extra 5 minutes to set everything up that you need for the morning. So for example, you saw when I got to my kitchen. So what you saw me do this morning is what I do every morning. I wake up, I go straight to the restroom, I weigh myself. You saw me weigh in at 167, and then I record my weight. You saw me write down 165. That's because the camera weighs 2 pounds. My arm is killing me right now holding it for this long. But the point of this is that you have to take the thinking out of it. So I go, I weigh myself, I use the restroom, and then I immediately go to the kitchen. You saw my coffee maker on back there. That timer on my coffee maker is set for 350. And what it does is it turns on at 350 and it starts brewing. Although I don't have coffee grinds in there, I do that so that I have hot water when I get to the kitchen. When I get to the kitchen, the hot water is there waiting for me. I have my tea already in the tea steeper. I have my protein powder already scooped out into the cup. I have everything set up. You saw when I got to my desk, I had the light there, I had my journal there, I had my book there, I had the pen there, I had everything that I needed for my morning routine. Lay out your clothes the night before, set everything up. Take those, I know at the end of the day, you're tired, you wanna go to bed, you're adjusting to a new schedule, you're sleepy, kids running around, you had to make dinner, there's dishes, whatever. Take those 5 extra minutes to just set yourself up for the next morning because it's gonna make it so much more efficient. I don't like to think in the morning. I don't wanna have to weigh, scoop protein powder in the morning. I don't wanna have to turn on the coffee maker and wait for it. I don't wanna have to pour my water when I wake up. I just want it there for me. And it's gonna make things so much more effective. You're gonna look forward to your morning because it's gonna be the easiest part of your day because everything is set up for you. So that's very important. Is what ties into that as well as another point. Make sure you like it. Have food. If you're gonna eat food in the morning or if you're gonna do protein powder, find a protein powder that you like. Find a tea that you like. I don't like to have coffee in the morning. I like to have tea. That's why I have tea. I enjoy it. I look forward to it. Whatever breakfast foods you decide to have, look forward to it. Make sure it's something that you like, okay? Make sure that you are doing things in the morning that put you in a peak state. I love journaling and practicing gratitude and reading in the morning. I don't like reading in the afternoon. I just don't do it. I don't like it. I like reading in the morning, so I'm gonna do it in the morning. I like meditating in the morning. I like sitting in silence. So that's what I'm gonna do. The point of me sharing this is find what you like. You have to make it consistent, okay? You have to make it, you have to make it likable so that you do it every day, so that it's consistent, so that you get the best results long-term. Does that make sense? Next point, have a clean area. When you wake up, you notice my desk was clean. You notice my kitchen was clean. There's no dishes. I just take, a couple minutes as I'm prepping everything to just clean everything up so that it's clean when I wake up the next morning. I don't like waking up to a cluttered space. That just might be my preference. That might not be for you, but I just wanted to share that. Have a clean area. It's nice, right? And last point is in the morning, I think it's very powerful. I talked about this in one of my recent videos, 18 free biohacks to potentially upgrade your life. I'll put a card right here. I got great feedback on that video. Go watch it if you haven't yet. In that video, I talked about bookending your days. What do bookends do on a bookshelf? They keep the books aligned, they keep them nice and neat, and they keep them from falling over and getting disorganized. Bookend your days so that you keep the books in your life from falling over and becoming disorganized. Take control of the last hour of the evening and the first hour of the day. Take control of that. Make that your time for you to put you in a state that you need, in a peak state, to feel amazing and to do what you need to do. You have control of the ends. You have control of everything in between. Do things in the morning that put you in a peak state. I already mentioned what that is for me. I do some breathing, I do some meditation, I journal. I love journaling and practicing gratitude in the morning. That puts me in such a good mood for the day. Even if I wake up feeling, sad or something like that, I do that. I read in the morning. I do things I like. Find something that you like that's gonna make you feel really good in the morning. Again, that's gonna help you look forward to the morning. It's gonna help you look forward to waking up. You're gonna wanna jump out of bed. You're not gonna wanna sit there and snooze for 30 minutes. Don't snooze either, by the way. It's okay to snooze once or twice, but if you snooze more than 2-3 times every morning, that's stress. That's cardiovascular stress. Look into the work of Matthew Walker, as well as Dr. Sachin Panda on circadian rhythm and sleep. So those are my tips. We covered 3 circadian cues: food, light, and movement, in practical ways that you can use those to adjust your circadian rhythm. Seriously, get the blue blockers, get the full spectrum light box, block the light at night, get that light in the morning. That's gonna signal to your brain that it's daytime and that it's nighttime. That's really, really gonna help. 2 of the most important things: use some movement, use some food, eat within 30 minutes. and then set everything up so that you don't have to think about it in the morning. Remember, willpower is a finite resource. Why do binges happen at the end of the day when most people are dieting? Because at the end of the day, we've run out of willpower. We've gone through our decision-making bank. We have decision fatigue. We just say, oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat whatever. I can't hold on anymore. I'm just gonna do it. You don't want to make any decisions in the morning. You don't want to have to think about anything. You don't want to have to use any willpower to make your, to do anything in the morning. You want it all set up there for you so that you reserve your willpower, so that you reserve your brain power, so that you can function optimally throughout the day. Does that make sense? Very important part of it. So I hope I brought you value with this video. I really, truly do. If you have any questions, any thoughts, any concerns, please leave me a comment down below. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you about this because I want to know your thoughts. I really do, and I hope this brought you value, as I said. If you haven't yet heard, I do have a new newsletter, email newsletter coming out very soon that's going to be exclusive audio content, not video content. It's not going up on Instagram or YouTube. It's just straight audio content. I just invested in some equipment to produce professional grade audio. It's going to be that plus a bunch of research goodies. I'm going to keep you up to date on what is hot and on a I'm going to keep you up to date on a lot of the research that I'm doing nowadays. And it's gonna be a really awesome newsletter. I'll leave a link to it in the description, completely free. I'll never spam you or anything like that. It's gonna launch within the next few weeks. I'm getting the equipment sent into me right now. And make sure to hit that subscribe button here on YouTube if you haven't yet. Hit that thumbs up if this brought you value. Put a lot of work into these videos, and I don't want anything in return other than a thumbs up if you appreciated it. So, or honestly, if you disliked it, give it a thumbs down. I'm open to the feedback. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in next week's video. Go get some good sleep.